Alright, we got the back wall of the north wing finished. Just a few little things to add here, but we're pretty much done. And kind of get a little overview from the back of the station, how things look. You can see one concourse here, pretty much done. There will be two more concourses, one here and here. Then I'll also have to build what I call these little wing walls, these little extensions out in the front. Got another one over here, you can see the walls out here. I did have the columns and the entrance attached here at one point, but I changed my mind on how I want to do that, so that's been removed, and I'm going to rework that. So there'll be another similar structure like this one at each end of the station, one on the south wing, and then another one down here on the north wing. And over each entrance there'll be smaller, similar structures extending out just a little bit. I kind of call them little wing walls here poking out. And these, of course, if I can do this without tearing everything apart. Pretty much got the first one done, the main big entrance. So there'll be similar structures like this at each end of the station, plus some smaller ones. They're only 3 columns wide over the secondary entrances opposite the concourses here. So getting down to most of the primary structures have been built. I've got to do the end walls down here on this end, and I got to do a little fixing up on this end here to get this structure over here. You can kind of get an idea what's going over there, but at each end they're only 4 columns wide. This is the biggest one. You may recall from last month's video, I was having a little trouble getting the end wall to fit well against the end of the concourse, and the problem was that I hadn't compensated for the thickness of these walls. Well, what I ended up doing, came up with an idea to sand these edges into a bevel shape and kind of make a miter joint at the end of the concourse. So now they tend to fit together a little better, and I've still got a little adjusting to do, but it's not sticking out like it was before. So I'm going to get this to be, trying to make this kind of like a little miter joint at the corners here, and I think that will look better, and it'll solve the problem of the concourse, the end of the concourse kind of sticking out too far because I didn't compensate for the thickness of the walls. Now I did this with kind of a radical idea. I took my power sander, you can see this here, adjust my camera. I used the power sander, kind of big clumsy looking thing, and it was real easy to get a good flat corner on here with the power sander. If I'd done this by hand on, say, a piece of sandpaper, it probably would have come out being a little curved, a little uneven. But it was real easy to use the power sander as long as I didn't press too hard and melt the plastic. But the power sander turned out to be a good tool. However, it was a little clumsy trying to hold the end of the concourse together and use the power sander to bevel these walls here. So I've learned here that when building the other 2 concourses, I'm going to bevel those edges first and then glue the darn thing together, because it was pretty clumsy trying to make these beveled ends with the big sander. But I managed to do it, and I'm going to have to do a little, like I say, a little adjusting, a little trimming to make it work here. But in the end, though, it's a better fit. Well, I've just finished building the first layer of the end wall for the north wing. Eventually it will end up looking like this one that is at the end of the south wing. You can kind of see you got a long way to go here before it is finished, but I just wanted to point out that this layer is the most time consuming due to the fact that I've got to place all the openings carefully here, and all the pieces need to be very carefully cut and put together It's been sanded and puttied. I've got a little more cutting to do. I've got to cut the angle up here for the gable, but you see all the openings in here. Eventually this is what the design plan here looks like, and that's what it'll look like when it's done. Well, we made some progress here on the north wing. These roof pieces are just kind of roughly set in place here. In fact, everything's just kind of pieced together right now. But we've got the north wing put together, just kind of mock-up really right now. We've got a little bit more work to do on the other side. Notice here the entrance. I've got these small wing walls here I'm going to put out here, and another set of columns out here in the front entrance, or not the front, but the side entrance there. Same thing will happen down at this end. I've got to build the columns for this side here and finish that entrance. So it'll look something like the main entrance here with the columns in the front. Also got to build some smaller sets of columns here. Be a similar little extension coming out to the front here with a little set of 4 columns there in the front here and here and here to be the finish up the front of the station. I'm gonna have to build 2 more concourses. This one is almost done. Needs a little bit of work to kind of get the pieces to fit together. You can see the stairwell in the back of this one here. So there'll be 2 more concourses coming out the back of the station right here in line with the entrances here. You can see the little roof peaks here, which will be similar to this roof along here where the roof lines are. So you get an idea of, starting to get an idea of how big this station is and how big it'll be. Tracks will be behind the station. There's 4 tracks. There'll be 2 platforms back there. Right now I've only got 1 platform in there, but when we get to the finished model, there'll be 2 platforms serving 4 tracks. So the north wing is finally coming along. I've been working on this project for, well, not continuously, but I started it last year about this time. I'm finally getting to the point where the whole thing is starting to take shape.